Financial Literacy for All by John Hope Bryant, and we're going to start where we left off at yesterday. Page, let me see where I want to start. 84. With that in mind, we must teach our students to choose majors not just based on passion, although that is important to a degree, but also based on the job they want to pursue. Parents and counselors alike must begin educating their children on the potential ROI, which is return on investment, on the degree from the institution of their choice. This too is financial education. The rising challenges around student loans also points to another reality. Vocational schools are still an option and are needed in our country. Just like blue collar isn't a dirty word, neither is vocational. In fact, there's a strong case for students enrolling into more trade and vocational schools. Our lower student debt liability paves a smoother path to earning. The paycheck to paycheck. We often think the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle applies only to those earning a lower income, but the reality is shockingly different. Remember, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. If you think that 60% is most people at the lower end of the income spectrum, you'd be mistaken. The truth is that this lifestyle doesn't discriminate. It affects half of those earning more than 100K and an alarming 1/3 of those bringing in more than 250K per year. How is that possible? How can someone earning six figures or more be living paycheck to paycheck? Well, the issue lies not in the amount of money they are making, but in how they are managing the money. Earning more money often leads to what is called lifestyle inflation, where expenses increase alongside income. The higher the income, the bigger the house. The more expensive the car, and before you know it, all that income is allocated to expenses, leaving no financial cushion. Without the necessary financial literacy to manage your income, however high or low it may be, you can easily slip into a lifestyle that leaves little room for savings or investments. Living paycheck to paycheck is a precautious tightrope walk over a chasm of financial disaster. Without savings, every unexpected expense becomes a crisis. A sudden job loss, an unforeseen medical issue, or even a global pandemic can push someone off the financial tightrope with nothing to break the fall. More on COVID-19 in the next section. And yet, the cycle continues. No contingency plan. COVID-19 showed us, in no uncertain terms, that a lack of financial literacy is a societal problem, and one that has severe consequences for our collective well-being. The pandemic has and continues to disrupt lives and livelihoods around the globe, pushing many into precarious financial situations. But even before the pandemic, a significant portion of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck, with little to no savings. The economic shutdowns and widespread job losses that came with COVID-19 exposed the fragility of so many people's personal finances. For those who are already struggling, The pandemic only deepened their financial woes, settling individuals and families who had been just getting by were thrust into financial emergencies. Millions of Americans, especially those in the low income bracket, found themselves without a safety net, unable to cover their basic living expenses. The COVID-19 pandemic laid bare and accelerated the undercurrents of financial uncertainty and stress that so many people in the United States were already experiencing. Many families and individuals who were already financially cautious before the pandemic fell off the financial due to job losses and increased expenses. And as always, where a disaster strikes, those without a strong financial literacy foundation were the hardest hit. For the financially literate, the pandemic was a challenging time, but not necessarily a disaster. They had tools and knowledge to adapt their financial plans. They had tools and knowledge to adapt their financial plans, to find new income streams, or to tap into savings to weather the storm. They knew how to navigate the various government relief packages and how to negotiate with creditors. In contrast, those without this knowledge found themselves overwhelmed and unable to make the best decisions for their circumstances. The COVID-19 pandemic has served as a stark reminder of the importance of financial literacy. The ability to manage one's finances is a crucial survival tool in unprecedented times. As we move forward and rebuild post pandemic, we need to ensure that every American has this tool at their disposal. Count up the cost. Financial literacy influences our daily decisions and shapes the course of our financial lives. Without it, we make choices that may seem harmless or even beneficial in the short term, but are detrimental in the long run. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. This was Financial Literacy for All by John Hope Bryant. We're going to stop right there at page 87. Make sure y'all like, follow, share, subscribe, all that. And so later or today, that's where we're going to start. And enjoy y'all weekend. The best is here. We global.